y'all, we are cooking away the blues, and sometimes that means making the best out of what you got. Now in the South, we do that a lot with our poor people's food, things like collard greens and grits, and today that means chicken fried steak, or you may call it country fried steak or Dixie fried. I don't even know what that means, but it starts with something cheap, a tough cut of meat that we're gonna slice really thin and we're gonna pound it out. Now that's the way we do it in Texas. It's almost always beef, sometimes cube steak, but you can chicken fry anything. We're gonna chicken fry some chicken, we're gonna chicken fry some pork, and I'm gonna show you how to make the cream gravy and the brown gravy. Call it chicken fried, country fried, it doesn't matter, it's delicious. So check this out. For the breading, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of cracked black pepper. For the egg wash, I have a 1.5 cups of buttermilk and 1 egg. You can use regular milk if you want. All right, now for the cream gravy, we're going to use a 1.5 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of chicken stock. For the brown gravy, we're going to use about 1/4 of an onion julienned and 1 cup of beef stock. Both gravies are going to get a dash of Louisiana hot sauce and Worcestershire. Now the best way to prepare your work surface for pounding out this meat is to just cover it in plastic wrap, just like that. So we're gonna lay down our top round beef steaks there, and then we're gonna cover them in plastic. And then I'm gonna put the center cut pork chops just like that and cover them in plastic. This is my big hammer. First thing we're gonna do is use the flat side, pound it out as flat as we can. Then we're gonna use this textured side, pound it out, tenderize it as much as we can, and flip the meat over and do it again. All right, so hold your ears, this gets loud. Now we're going to pound this side. Tenderize this side. Okay, so now I've got my flour, and I'm just going to mix the salt and the pepper in there. That's easy enough. But the important thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to take about 1.5 tablespoons of that flour mixture and save it for the cream gravy. And then I'm going to take another tablespoon and about 1/2 for the brown gravy. And now for the egg wash, we're just going to pour in that 1.5 cups of buttermilk or regular milk and beat that up with the egg. Don't skip out on the egg. The egg is very important. Without the egg, the flour is just gonna flake right off of the meat. Okay, so we're gonna start by breading the beef that we've sprinkled with my famous Cajun seasoning. We're going to put it in the flour mixture, and then in the milk and egg mixture, and then back in the flour mixture. And you can just kind of press it down like that with your hand, just like that. Okay. Next we're gonna bread the seasoned pork, just like we did the beef. And you can use chicken, you can use possum, you can use squirrel, whatever you want. Okay, so I've got about 3 tablespoons of oil. You can use bacon drippings. That's really yummy when you do that. So we're going to get that oil nice and hot in a cast iron skillet. Cast iron is the best thing to use, the best skillet for this recipe. Okay, so the oil is hot. We're going to put our first steak in, and it's sizzling just right. You don't want to crowd it too much, so we're probably just going to do 2 at a time. Okay, so these are getting nice and brown, but we want them cooked all the way. We're going to give that, can you see what that looks like? We're going to give that a little bit more time before we flip it. So those are getting crispy on that side, and we're going to flip it just like that. The thing about these country chicken fried, Dixie fried steaks is that you want them to remain crispy even after you smother them in gravy and mashed potatoes. Okay, so those have cooked a couple minutes on each side. Now we're going to move them over here to drain on the paper towel. Just like that. And we'll fry up this other one, and then we'll make the gravy. Okay, now that the steaks are done, we're going to take that 1.5 tablespoons of flour mixture and put it in the skillet and stir it around like that. We're making a roux, just like if we were making gumbo. Next, we're going to add the 1/2 cup of chicken stock. And then we're going to add the 1.5 cups of milk. Scraping all those goodies off the bottom. Now as that comes to a boil, it's going to thicken. And then we're going to add a dash of hot sauce and a dash of Worcestershire sauce. All right, so that's come to a boil now. We're going to turn that down, and it has thickened, looking like a nice cream gravy. All right, so we got our chicken fried steak there. We're going to put some gravy on top there with the mashed potatoes and the green beans, and we've got chicken fried steak. All right, now we're gonna fry those pork chops just like we did the beef. We got our oil good and hot, just like that. Now you want to be sure not to crowd the pan too much with these, or they won't get crisp. And like I said, it's really important that they're crispy, because we're going to smother them in gravy, and we want them to stay crispy even though they got mashed potatoes and gravy all over them. All right, now that that pork is fully cooked, we're going to let it drain on a paper towel like that, and we're going to start our gravy. Start with the 1.5 tablespoons of flour and the julienne onions. We're going to get all those brown bits off the bottom of the skillet just like that. Now we want this to get to be a nice brown color, kind of like the color of peanut butter. Now that the onions are caramelized and the roux has turned brown, we're going to add the beef stock. Next, we're going to give a little dash of Louisiana hot sauce and a dash of Worcestershire. We're going to bring that to a boil till it starts to thicken, and then we're going to turn it down to a simmer. Alright, this is how we're going to set this one up. We're going to put a little chicken fried, country fried pork on there. We're going to put some mashed potatoes right there. We're going to put some green beans, just like that. I've got this caramelized garlic, and I'll put it on top. And then we're going to spoon that brown gravy, just like that. There we go, kids. Cooking away the blues. All right, you want some chicken fried steak? Oh, you're a good boy. Oh, there we go. Watch it cooking away the blues, and now you know there is no difference between chicken fried, country fried, or Dixie fried steak, pork or chicken, or squirrel or possum. It's all the same. You bread it up, you fry it, you make a pan gravy, and it's delicious. Probably don't want to eat it every day, but every now and then you gotta have it, especially if you live in Texas. It's a staple. Please like, share, and follow. Look for me on Facebook. We got virtual cooking classes. Read my blog at julesburgwrites.com. And Irreverent, take a living with depression amidst a pandemic. That's always a lot of fun. Peace, love, and keep on cooking.